Should be good. Let's go find it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, I'm the Golf Dog. I am a scratch golfer, and I love to help people play better golf. We are on to episode 2 of the Beginner's Guide to Golf. If you missed episode 1, you can find it right up here. Today, in this video, episode 2, we're gonna be going over your stance and your alignment. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe because you don't wanna miss any more episodes. Let's get right into this one. Enjoy the video. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna talk about is your stance. How to get your body prepared to hit a golf shot. First thing I want you to do is I want your feet about shoulder width apart. For a typical golf shot, I want your feet to be about shoulder width apart, and I want your toes to be slightly flared outward. You don't wanna be too straight on, because then it's gonna be hard to rotate through. If you flare those feet just a little bit, it's gonna be a lot easier to get through the golf shot, all right? So your feet need to be about shoulder width apart and slightly flared outwards. Next, I want you to slightly bend your knees. I don't want you to be too straight up. You wanna bend those knees just a little bit. And then I want you to bend at the waist. I want you to bend at the waist here. You don't wanna arch your back. You almost wanna have a slightly rounded back to straight. So here's my slightly bent at the waist, and then your arms should just fall here. You don't wanna reach out here like this with the golf club. You want your arms just to fall after you've bent at the waist, and this is where your grip should be of your golf club, just like this. This is a nice, good stance. Now, with wedges, your stance might be a little bit more narrow, all right? With a driver or woods or even long irons, it might be a little wider. Driver is definitely gonna be a little bit wider. So that means the setup for the driver is just slightly different as well. With the driver, you wanna have just a little bit outside of your shoulder width with your stance. You still want those toes to be flared out. And then with the ball position, it's gonna be up in your stance. You're gonna wanna angle those shoulders. You don't want to be straight on. You want to angle those shoulders like this and keep that head back behind the golf ball. And then you want to kind of bump this left hip up. So with your driver, you want to kind of bump this hip up and then slightly have those shoulders upwards. With the driver, you want to swing up on the golf ball. So that's why the stance and the setup is a little bit different. So with your driver, biggest thing is nice flexed knees, a little bit wider stance, bump this left hip out, and then shoulders should be a little bit like this. This is my driver setup here. You can see my head is behind the club. That's gonna be your driver setup. Now with an iron, you're gonna be, again, shoulder width apart, depending on your comfort level, maybe just a little bit beyond shoulder width apart. This is a 7-iron, so 7-iron is going to be a little bit forward of center as far as ball position, and that'll be another video. Ball position is a huge key to hitting good solid golf shots. You can see here, my shoulders are a little bit more straight across rather than being up like I had with the driver. Nice flexed knees, you can see from the side, nice bent over. I'm not arching my back, I don't have too much knee flex, and I'm not standing too far straight up. This is a nice, good, solid stance here. So now that we've gone over a good, solid stance setup, we're gonna go on to alignment, how to get your body and the club face pointed at the target. Okay, guys, getting into alignment, it's good to get you some alignment sticks like so. I'm using Tour Aim alignment sticks. You can use whatever you have. If you don't have any alignment sticks, I do have a link in the description that can get you some. Basically, you want to set it up something similar to this, all right? This is going to be our target line, so that's going to be pointed right at our target. You don't want your feet to be pointed at the target. You don't want to do this, all right? Your feet actually need to be parallel to the target, so that's why we have one here. The only thing that's pointed directly at the target is your club head and your club face. So use this to line up, and then you want your feet to be lined up. You can back this all the way up to your feet if you want, and you want that club face to be pointed right at the target line. A great visual that you should have with these alignment sticks is kind of like a railroad track pointed all the way down to the target, and this point right here will be right at the target. Getting good alignment starts behind the golf ball. When you're stepping into the golf ball, you're making a line from this target. You draw a line back to your golf ball, and then you find an intermediate target. An intermediate target is a target on that target line. So if this is our target line, an intermediate target needs to be about 2 feet in front of your golf ball. So you find something in the grass, if you're in sand, find something that's 2 feet in front of the golf ball that you can concentrate on. It's a lot easier to line up this club face to something that's 2 feet away rather than something that's 160 yards away. So find an intermediate target, a target on your target line, and line your club face up to that intermediate target. All right, so I'm looking right in here, and obviously there's not going to be alignment sticks on the golf course, but you line that up. All right, once you've lined up your club face, that's when you square your feet. All right, your feet need to be perpendicular to your club face. Once you've had that lined up, you square your feet. Again, you want those toes to be slightly flared out, feet to be about shoulder width, maybe slightly wider than shoulder width apart, and then take your grip that we talked about in episode 1, and then that should be a good, solid setup. Now, the biggest thing, once you get your feet lined up and your club face is square, the biggest thing is get your hips, a straight line from your hips. Imagine a straight line from your hips and a straight line from your shoulders. So those feet are lined up. Now, line up your hips. You don't want your hips to be open or closed, and then line up your shoulders. If you're set up like this, you're gonna pull it left. Same vice versa. If you're set up like this with your shoulders closed, you're gonna push it right. So make sure those shoulders are nice and square to your target line. And then again, these lines on your toes, hips, and shoulders should be perpendicular to your club face, and then parallel to your target line. That's gonna do it for stance and alignment. Once again, if you missed episode 1, go check out my channel or look at the link in the description. Next, we are on to episode 3, and that is gonna be ball position. Ball position is key to hitting solid golf shots, so you don't wanna miss that one. Be sure to hit that subscribe. Be sure to drop a like on this one, and we'll catch you on the next video.